Deroy Murdock is a contributing editor to National Review Online. We are delighted to have him join us tonight. My favorite part was when Karine Jean-Pierre, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, I don't want to be racist, he said, I'd like to change the subject for a minute, and then called someone else racist. That seems like the only subject, really.
It seems like the only one. Thank you for your act of racism and having me here tonight, Tucker, I might say. But yeah, when you have nothing else to talk about, you don't have any answers, you don't have any actual solutions that might work, you scream racism. Another thing that screaming racism does, it's a very polite, or maybe a somewhat more polite way of saying, shut the hell up. Yes, they don't want the conversation. Yes, they don't want the tough questions. They don't want anything else in terms of constructive criticism. So we scream racism that's designed not to advance the conversation, but to shut it down. And to go back to what you were saying in your excellent monologue earlier about Venezuela, I happened to visit Venezuela a couple times in the late 90s, early zeros. And yes, it was a prosperous place, fun place, beautiful place. And it's a total wreck. And in order to keep us from turning into that country, which we seem to be, with the empty store shelves, the climbing prices, baby formula shortage, babies in the hospital because of this formula shortage, unbelievable. Joe Biden could fix a lot of problems, inflation, his political woes, which are terrible, the political standing for the Democrat Party, by saying, look, I made a big mistake by shutting down the Keystone pipeline. We need to increase domestic oil production, begin to start bringing energy prices down. If energy prices start to come down, the rest of the price curve would come down, inflation would ease to a degree. And I think if people at least saw inflation going down, confidence would improve, optimism would increase, and people would start feeling a lot better. But right now, every time I turn on the TV, gas prices are going up and away. Every day a higher record price for gas and diesel. Now there's talk about diesel shortages coming. And as you say, this place in less than a year and a half, in 15, 16 months, is looking a lot more like, it's beginning to look a lot more like Venezuela than anything you and I or anybody ever could imagine.
The concern is not just poverty, but radicalism. I mean, no one's getting more moderate. So refusing to address people's legitimate concerns, calling them racist if they ask honest questions, all of that makes people more radical over time. Are you worried that the country could, you can kind of feel it moving underneath their feet here?
And that's what I think a lot of people in the far, far left want. I think one of the greatest political slogans was that of Vladimir Lenin before the Russian Revolution. It was very, very simple, 4 words: the worse, the better. The worse, the better. The worse the conditions were, more people would be radicalized and say, look, we've had it with the czar. Maybe we should bring Lenin in. Maybe he can turn things around. I think there's some people who want total, utter chaos in society. I have a piece in the American Spectator about the Democrat Party and how they have nothing but terrible ideas, awful solutions. And some of the people in the far left Democrat Party today, I think, want exactly that kind of chaos and ultimately a revolutionary type situation.
The worse, the better. Boy, that is chilling. Deroy Murdock, thank you so much.
Tucker, great to see you. Thank you.
You too.